Welcome back to this Real America's Voice news break. I'm Terrence Bates. Federal workers are hoping to get their paychecks as soon as possible as the federal government is now back open following the longest shutdown in U.S. history.
It's an honor now to sign this incredible bill and get our country working again. Thank you.
President Trump signing the bill funding the government through January 30th on Wednesday night after the U.S. House passed the temporary funding bill. Federal agencies are directing employees to report to work today. In the meantime, it is still not clear when furloughed workers will get their back pay or their paychecks in general. The White House is downplaying the release of 23,000 documents related to Jeffrey Epstein, including emails claiming that President Trump knew about the sexual abuse of underage girls but never participated. The documents were released through the House Oversight Committee on Wednesday.
These emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong. And what President Trump has always said is that he was from Palm Beach, and so was Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago until President Trump kicked him out because Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile and he was a creep.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt also calling the document release a, quote, manufactured hoax by the Democrats. She argues that Democrats didn't care about the Epstein case until President Trump returned to the White House. China has agreed to crack down on chemicals used to make fentanyl. FBI Director Kash Patel says the CCP is targeting all 13 precursors for making fentanyl and 7 chemical subsidies used in that process. All of this comes after Director Patel traveled to China to meet with his Chinese counterpart.
While we, the interagency, the Department of Justice, have been fighting hard to seize and stop drug traffickers, we must attack fentanyl precursors, the ingredients necessary to make this lethal drug. That was the sole purpose of my trip to China, to eliminate these precursors. And if successful, we would suffocate the drug trafficking organization's ability to manufacture fentanyl in places like Mexico.
President Trump set the ball in motion during his recent meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. That's a quick check.
Newsflash, Democrats. America is a republic, not a democracy. Fact check. True.
All right, welcome back to the Charlie Kirk Show. We are having a fascinating discussion in the break. Listen, I want to tell you about TikTok. Charlie built a amazing, thriving community on TikTok through conversation, through debate, through dialogue. It's not something that happens overnight. It happens over time, one connection at a time. TikTok offers opportunities for respectful dialogue and the exchange of ideas, and through that, opportunities for community. You'll find creators who teach and encourage, a carpenter passing on his craft, a mom explaining how to make a budget stretch, or a gardener showing us how to bring a backyard back to life. All of that is powered through TikTok. People don't necessarily think that, but it's so true. There's so much more on that app than you might imagine. Freedom to speak what we know and hear each other out. That's the power of TikTok. It gives everyone a seat at the table, a place to speak, to listen, and to remind each other what connection looks like. Conversations build connections, and connections build communities. Portions of the Charlie Kirk Show are sponsored in part by TikTok. All right, so we added yet another, Daisy Phelps, who is like our resident, when Alex is not here, she's our resident pop culture expert. You and Emma, you keep us informed. So this is the theme, which is ironic coming after Jeffrey Epstein, like the most anti-family topic you can imagine. And yet here we pivot to Hollywood, pop culture, and there is a theme emerging, Alex, that some of the brightest stars that are, young stars are now defending the idea of family, and they're fighting against this prevalent anti-family messaging that we've always associated with Hollywood. Am I summing it up somewhat accurately here?
Yeah, you are. I was so surprised. The songs that are coming out, the statements that are coming out from A-list stars defending having children, slamming hedonism, essentially, and talking about how they just want to have, kids and there's nothing wrong with it. And in fact, saying it's weird if you brag about not having children. I mean, this is a total, complete 360 from the messaging that we've had the last 10 years. And it seems like overnight this year, there's been a shift.
Well, and I think so. A couple weeks ago, we had talked about when the member called in. There's a new Taylor Swift song about how she just wanted to have kids and settle down, and people were saying that was trad wife or alt-right propaganda. So we had talked about that a little bit, but I think that what's even a bigger story than that, everyone's talking about this Kelsea Ballerini song that just came out. And I texted Emma Kate as soon as this came out, and I was like, I would pay money for Charlie to be able to hear this song, because it's not only someone who just in Hollywood is now saying they focus too much on their career, now they want to have a family. It's someone who just previously in the last couple of years was saying they didn't want to have a family, had a very public divorce, trashing her ex-husband very publicly.
Because he wanted a family and
So-
she didn't.
so
So we
this is
have
I Sit in
that
Parks.
clip of Kelsea Ballerini on Call Her Daddy. I don't know.
Oh, I think I know.
I don't know what the number is.
I think I got it. 276.
Yes.
Wait, no, this is
Who
2020.
brought up
All right, go ahead.
the idea of divorce first?
Me.
And how did you begin that conversation?
I was realizing that I wasn't ready for kids, and that's a fundamental difference. That was something that we had talked about early on, and that was something that I was changing on, because he was ready. He was like, I don't want to be an old dad, is what he kept saying, and I was like, I'm not there yet, and I can't do that to like save this and give you something that I'm not ready for. Like, I just can't do that to myself. I took him out to dinner, and I was like, for my 30th birthday, I want to freeze my eggs, and it was not a good day. And I think that was when I was like, there's a fundamental difference here.
So that was a couple years ago, and it was very public. And then she put out a song just recently called I Sit in Parks, and it is really sad. So I know you've listened to it. We have the lyrics.
Yeah, this is crazy, actually. So 266, you can throw up the lyrics. She said, did I miss it? By now, is it a lucid dream? Is it my fault for chasing things a body clock doesn't wait for? I did the damn tour. It's what I wanted, what I got. I spun around and then I stopped and wonder if I missed the mark.
And she even, in the second verse, talks about how she's hitting her vape, but she's dreaming about a nursery with Noah's Ark, and Rolling Stone says she's on the right track, but she's refilling her Lexapro. So
This is bleak.
Completely a 180. Like, and we've said this to Charlie for a long time about Taylor Swift. She's always said that she's wanted this thing. I think this is an even bigger story because it's someone who, the complete opposite, was saying that this is what she wants. She wants her career.
Wait, so did she
she doesn't
get a
want to be
divorce?
married. Yes.
So she straight up divorced a dude because
Divorced
she didn't
him
want to have kids.
for selfish reasons, just purely selfish reasons. There's no biblical grounds for divorce there. Saying you want kids and I don't, only for a couple years later for her to say, oh, actually, I think I do want kids. And this
Did
is
she
what's
call
so
him back
frustrating.
up and be like,
Well, now she's dating Chase Stokes.
Which I think they're back together.
Yeah.
They were just spotted.
Which I have a whole theory on that. I have a whole theory
I
on
don't
that.
even know who Chase Stokes is.
I don't know.
Outer Banks.
Outer Banks actor
Okay.
on Netflix, big teen drama series.
All right.
I have a whole. So can I just say something that's really a
Yes,
wild theory about this? They've been dating for 3 years, broke up like the day after Charlie was murdered. And then now they're back together 2 months later. My theory, as soon as I saw this, because I believe he had commented something positive about Charlie, and I think maybe it was deleted or something right in those like first few hours after his death. I don't know. Obviously, we don't know for sure. But I have a hunch that maybe he came out and defended Charlie and said that this was wrong and he didn't deserve to be killed. And I think Kelsea freaked out because she is a huge lib. And I think she dumped him. And now she's sitting in parks in Nashville and she's watching all these young, gorgeous families where the husband is strong and doting on his wife and they look so happy and they're sitting on the blanket playing with their children. And she's sitting there hitting a vape being like, I guess I got to go refill my Lexapro prescription. Wow, this is like super dark and depressing. Maybe I jumped the gun on this breakup. So now they're back together. I just wonder if it had to do a little bit with Charlie. But beyond that, I think this is such an important story to tell what she's doing, because we do not set young women up for success when it comes to motherhood. We should be talking to them when it comes to chasing your dreams and what career you want to have. We should be having these conversations in high school, letting them know, hey, it's okay if you want to chase a career. However, you should know that statistically, you are going to want to have children, and that if you have a career when you have children, 65% of women will drop out of the workforce completely once they have kids, or they want to go down to part-time. So if you know that statistically going into choosing your career path, choosing your degree, what career path or what degree would you choose that would be more conducive to motherhood? You have, this is just the majority. This is what it's going to be like for the majority of women.
You're terrifying me right now.
Why?
Because I'm
She's
less than 2 months
pregnant.
away from giving birth. Andrew's terrified hearing that 65% of women don't go back to work.
Wait, this stat again, read it back to me.
Don't worry.
Wait, say that one more time.
We have pregnant women all over Turning Point right now. It's like a total, I don't know what you want to call it, but we're going to be in trouble in about 2 months.
No, this is a good thing.
It's a great thing.
No,
we celebrate
more babies.
It really is. I feel like the luckiest person in the world, especially. I think we even have the picture of when I told Charlie and Erica that I was pregnant.
305.
305 if we want to put that up. But I've been so grateful.
Charlie smiling.
Erica had asked me the day before, and I was like, no, because I knew I wanted to tell them both together. So they were both pretty shocked. But I just am so grateful because our message is all about families. But I also have loved and still love my career, and so having a boss that was so ecstatic for both and like was so committed to making sure that I could and will still do both is the dream. But most people don't have that, and so I think it's really important that these huge celebrities and Timothy Chalamet bragging about having kids and how much time it afforded to them to do other stuff. It's bleak that people are bragging about not having kids.
Timothy Chalamet, actually, I don't know much about him. I will just say
I
think
great.
He's super talented.
He's 10 out of 10.
297. Oh, it's just an image?
It's an image. But also, it's actually pronounced Timothée. You guys are pronouncing his name wrong.
I think he's French.
He is French.
I thought he was American.
Well, I think he's
both.
But here's what's important.
It's so
is this crash course in reality that kind of knocks women on the head once they're in their 30s if they purposefully chose a life of pursuing career and selfish pursuits above having a family and children. It comes for everybody. Okay, if you're a woman, the clock comes for us all. And so with Kelsea, she is really, it's important to make sure that she understands that feminism lied to her. She wasn't really given informed consent on what she was choosing and what she could potentially, now there's still time for her to get pregnant and have a family, but they weren't honest with her about how you can have it all as a woman, but what we're missing when we're talking to young women is telling them it just may not be all at the same time.
Yes, and Erica said that at YWS this year. That was a big part of her and Charlie talking.
Charlie would be so fired up on this when you said the clock is ticking.
Yeah,
well, it's true. It's a biological clock. Everyone has it, but I also think, and that's what we're seeing with Kelsea Ballerini. She's in her 30s. It's also like an emotional clock for women that no matter how much you push it off, this is something that you were made to do.
And when you purposefully put it off, so when you are not living a godly season of singleness where you are dedicating your life to the Lord and you are praying for a future family and all of that, that's different than purposely choosing singleness, okay, for selfish reasons. When that time comes and you're realizing, oh snap, like I have a very small window here to have a family, you are picking a mate then, and who's going to be the future husband of your children, or who's going to be the father of your children under pressure. You're not going to pick, I don't think, as thoughtful of a partner as you would when you have more time and you're in your 20s, if God allows and you meet that person in your life. Again, I feel bad for her first husband because he was right the entire time and she blew him off, and now look at the mess that she's made. That's sad to me.
And sorry,
I wanted to play a clip from Charlie.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, this is in September of 2025. So just before he was assassinated, talking about this incredibly important topic to his heart. 253.
Children is more important than having a good career. I have 2 kids. I also have an amazingly blessed career. Our podcast is doing great, but my kids matter way more than how many social media followers that I have. And I would also tell young ladies, you can always go back to your career later, that there is a window. where you primarily should pursue marriage and having children, and that is a beautiful thing. This is not about shaming. It's not about ridiculing. It's not about moralizing. It's about lifting up what is beautiful. And by the way, when we look at the mental health data, young women are not okay. That is right, half of liberal white women say that they have some form of mental health issue that has been diagnosed by a doctor. What is the number one thing that mental health professionals will tell you when it comes to mental health issues? Loneliness does not help. So maybe we should solve the loneliness epidemic by encouraging young ladies to get married and have children. It's good for them, it's good for America, and it's good for our future.
Boom. I love that. Charlie was so spot on this issue. I know you got a thought off the back of this. We're going to blow the brakes here because we just have too much to talk about and get to. But first, I want to tell you about Alan Jackson, Culture and Christianity podcast, the Alan Jackson podcast. What makes this podcast unique and why I recommend it is because they're all about applying Scripture. They want you to understand what the Bible says and how you can apply it to issues that we're facing today, really tough issues like gender confusion, abortion, immigration, Doge, Trump in the White House, issues in the church, starting families, affordability. He doesn't just discuss the problems. In every single episode, he gives practical things that you and I, that we all can do to make a difference. Plus, he's got his guests there that have incredible expertise and powerful testimonies of their own. Each episode will make you recognize the power of your faith and how God can use your life to impact the world today. The Culture and Christianity podcast is informative and encouraging, and you can get it at YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. And also, if you want to check out what else Alan Jackson is doing, you can find out more about Pastor Alan and the ministry at alanjackson.com/Charlie. That is ALLEN, Jackson.com/Charlie, alanjackson.com/Charlie. We're going to keep going because there's just too many good voices here. And we got so many stories to get to. We'll be right back.